Hello, you are on the air. How's it going?
I would be doing well if you was carrying this like you had some cultural pride, homie.
If I have some cultural pride, explain that to me, sir.
Yeah, the way you give that Peckerwood a pass for using the N word simply because he said that he came up around black people who gave him a pass.
Okay, so do you believe in the First Amendment?
Fuck the First Amendment. What do you mean the first? That ain't got nothing to do with black people, with what black people went through.
So you
That has
said
to do with
first. So
how
wait,
black.
did you just say F the First Amendment?
Yeah, fuck America is mama and the deity. So how about that? I'm a black person. How about that one? Based off my blackness.
So wait a minute. Are you a FBA or a Black Lives Matter protester?
No, no, I'm just black. I'm a black dude from North Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So
That's
what?
why
So
I'm
what is you
separated.
being? So wait. So you being black ultimately means you anti-America, or are you just speaking for yourself?
No, 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 no. I'm not anti-American. I'm pro-American. The United
You
States
just said
is
F the
the
Constitution. You know you getting
yeah
clipped for that, right?
of the United States of the United States. The
You
United
just
States
said,
can be
bro,
sued, but
that's
America
our
refuses.
First Amendment right. That's what makes America America. That's what don't makes us China.
No,
That's what
no,
don't makes us
no, homie.
Mexico. That's what don't makes us
Did
Russia.
you
We
not
have a
see
free speech
the white?
country.
The devils of the white United States killed off a majority of the original Americans to try to claim America,
I'm
and now
talking
they
about
try to
free
replace it
speech, sir. I'm
with this
talking
shit.
about free speech and the use of the word.
Yeah,
You're
free
branching
speech of
off.
evil motherfuckers who will kill you, who will kill you because they want to. To this very day. And this very same system operates the same way that it was back then. Free
Can
speech, free speech, free
explain it?
right.
I'm listening. Go ahead. You might have a point. I'm listening.
Nah, I ain't no might have a point. I do got a point. So if we
Okay,
go
so
back to that
explain your
Peckerwood thing,
point
he got
then.
access to the
I'm
N
giving
word
you the
simply because he
floor.
may have sold some drugs as if selling drugs or participating within the underworld grants one access to it. Fuck that devil. Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea what we owe this old whole ass nation behind that? And we're not talking reparations just for
Sir,
slavery.
we're
No,
talking
after slavery, because
specifically about the use of the N-word. Where is all of this coming from? I mean, I'm
you
interested. Don't get
damn
me
straight.
wrong. I am interested in what you got to say, but I'm just kind of confused.
Because all black people didn't use the N word. People think that it's a black thing. All black people wasn't using that word. I'm 46 years old. I
I
remember when
agree.
black
I
people
agree.
whispered
I
that
agree with
word
you.
to
I agree
one
with
another.
you. I agree that.
So how is it that all these other motherfuckers got access to it and we ain't got reparation? This whatever, everything that is attached to the historical, unsolved historical business of that word ain't even been solved, but they got access to it. Are you kidding me? Simply because what? They might listen to some music or they may have grew up in an urban environment that they'll call the fucking hood.
Sir, how okay, listen. I understand what you're saying. Granted, okay, he grew up here this and I actually agree with that caller. If you do grow up around those people and if they do feel comfortable with you saying it, I mean, what's stopping you from saying it? But even if that wasn't the case, sir, I'm still a First Amendment activist. I believe in free speech. So I hear what you're saying. Now, I'm not saying it's right. When it comes to the Shiloh Hendricks lady, when she called the kid an N-word, I'm not agreeing what she did was right. But am I gonna sit here and say that I'm not an advocate for the First Amendment on her right to not say it? Absolutely not. Like I agree with the First Amendment. If you want to
Okay,
say what you want to
but
say,
therein lies the cultural clashes, though. Therein lies the cultural clashes that a lot of non-white people won't make the assessment to. That this place whitely
but that's
operates
if you
in
allow it though, right?
legislative,
Isn't that
and it's
isn't that
no,
if you allow it?
it's not. That's not no allowance, dog. Look. We are in the age where there's always cameras, but there's always cameras everywhere. And as far as it goes with the N word, or we'll say the social perspective of black people being identified as such or measured by such is not largely through this through this system. This system and these greed feeding ass devils are the ones that can't help but to see black people as niggas and prefer to see us
But
socially
why
raised
give
as
them
that
power
to this
though? Like,
very
but
fucking day.
but my thing is this, sir. Why? Oh, can I get your name? Or you can give me a nickname if that's cool.
Nah, Robish, son. You can see me on YouTube. I'm in your chat, cuz.
Oh, did you say
Robish,
Robin?
son. Rogish.
Oh,
Like a roach,
Logish, Logish.
fuck it.
Okay,
Rogish.
so Logish. I understand what you're saying when it comes to the white folks making the word, a vulgar bigoted term. Don't get me wrong, I agree with that. But Are we gonna sit up here and still allow them, to give the word power and meaning? Because that's basically like saying these people can control my emotions with just one word. Like, you got to
Oh
admit,
no, no, no,
but no,
no,
listen though, just
no.
hear me out though. Hear me out.
It's
You
not just
got.
white. It's not just white people, dog. It's not just white people. It's
I
everybody.
understand that. I understand. Okay,
I'm in Texas right now, and if you heard how the fuck the Mexicans say it out here, matter of fact, since we moved here from California in 1993, that's one of the
granted,
very first things that I noticed.
granted, but the thing is, the word is still a word, dude. No matter what it is, it's still a word. Are you gonna let a word
It's not just
dictate
the
who you
word. It
are?
is not just the word. It
But
is
are you
just
gonna
the
let a
word is
word
not
dictate?
connected to
You
our
say you're
culture.
40. You say you're 40 plus years old, right? I'm 28. I would never let a word dictate
Yeah.
who I am. I would never let a word dictate who
The
I
word
am.
doesn't the word doesn't dictate us, nor utilization of the
If you
word
give if
dictate
you
us.
give it
But what
power, it does though. So if it doesn't
it
dictate you, then
already
why
has
why
the power.
react
Look,
to it?
it already had the power before I was born, homie, and before you was born. Will you admit to that?
I mean, look, listen. I'm not discreet in that, but at the end of the day, if I was born during the racial term, I wouldn't let it get to me. I wouldn't like kick, because honestly, I mean, let's be honest here,
So
bro. Black folks use it.
if you were born in the 1700s, if you
N-
was born in the 1700s, you
No, I
won't
was
let it
born.
get to you with the already economic, social, and political power that's already been established by it. It couldn't get to you. We're talking power dynamics. We're not just talking
So you're
the
admitting. So you're
socialization
admitting the
back and
word has
forth and
power.
all this
Then,
nonsense.
if you
No,
say
no,
it's a power dynamic, you just admitted that the word has power, and that's where the
the word
problem lies.
the foundation of the word as a pejorative comes from a stance of social power, whiteness, right? That comes from whiteness. Whiteness is a power dynamic. It's not just merely a racial designation. As that one Peckerwood said who was on here before me, he's Irish. So the Irish people had to be onslaught, what were onslaught about white supremacy. This is pretty
But
much
what
the
does
same
him
level
being
as
Irish have
black
to do
people.
with him having free speech though? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Oh no, he can have all the free speech he wants. But I'm saying this is where we are. This is where we are diametrically opposed from a cultural standpoint.
But the thing is this though, when it comes to culture, I get it. But so if somebody say black people got to stop using the N word because it's offensive to everybody, are you gonna let them stop you from using the N word? Because that's the same thing you're saying when it comes to white folks as well.
Somebody like who though? Somebody like who?
I mean, you tell me.
Black
I
people
mean,
have
you're the one that's saying that they can't say it, right?
black people already been trying that, though. Black people have already been trying that, and other non-black people have been
And
trying
has it been
to
working?
stop saying it because
Has
they
it been
want
working? Do white people
access
still
to
use
it,
the N
and
word? Clearly they
they
do.
want access. Say it again.
I said, I mean, but that really worked though? Because clearly white people still use the N word. Two more likes, guys, till we get to 100.
They're always going to use it. They're always going to use it. But what they're looking for is what you just did, granting the access. They want access to use it and not have no social blowback behind it. That's what they want. They already use it. Are you kidding me? Of course they use it.
So if they use it, is it really going to change anything? If we know that they're going to use the word, objectively, they're going to use the word. If we know this, then why keep complaining about it and whining about it? Let's just move on. I mean, why are we sitting up
Is it a why?
here?
Because it's unfinished business behind that. It's unfinished business. Even how flippant black people use it, it's still unfinished business behind it. We're not supposed to
So
use
why
it
do black?
efficiently as we do,
So you made a good point.
but we do so based off of the traumatic, unfinished historical past. We don't have a closed chapter of none of that past. So
So
that's
if
why
we
we
wanted
use.
to
I remember
actually
when black
use,
people.
so if
I
we
remember when black people used to whisper the word only within black company, when there wasn't nobody else around, when we were only just living amongst ourselves in our own neighborhood, all black people wasn't using that word. You had some who actually whispered that word to them to each other.
I understand that.
That's how potent it
I
is.
understand. Okay, so you said you were a believer in free speech, right?
A believer in free speech. I don't.
The the First
Okay,
Amendment, yes.
okay, well, okay,
The First
the
Amendment,
United States
sir.
definition of it. Okay, let's go ahead. You pro military or pro a murder
I'm
claim.
just
So
the
go ahead.
no. I'm
What
look,
what you
look.
go ahead.
I just support the First Amendment. I just support people free speech.
I know you
Now,
do.
granted,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
listen. I'm not disputing that whatever you say, you don't have to be responsible of saying. That's why. And then think about this. Wouldn't you want these people to say the N word because they're come? I would respect a person who say the N word out in the open more than a person who hides behind closed doors. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, they do say it in the open. They don't always say the N
But
word. They
but
always
isn't
find
that
some
more?
other
But
way
that's what I'm saying though.
to
Isn't that
utilize
more
the
respectful than a
social
person hiding
positioning
behind closed doors saying it?
of black people as a pejorative. It's not a okay. Look, I prefer all my shit out in the open anyway. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We don't play with these peckerwoods, and they don't play with us out here in the Midwest. Cause feel me? So it is what it is. But you go on the East Coast and the West Coast, they have that gray area that they've created, and they somewhat adhere to it. Whatever is fake as fuck. Down south, they actually fake one, and it's not even real. But in the Midwest, yeah, it's all just black and white. So you might, and your viewers might have a problem with my stance on this, but I'm from the Midwest. The Midwest ain't
I'm
never
from the
had no gray
Midwest too.
area
I'm
with
from
that.
Chicago, bro. I'm from Chicago.
Okay, so you from Chicago? You from the most segregated city
I've
for
never
history of
been called
Chicago?
the
You
N
need to know.
word.
Come on,
I
cuz.
was born and raised in Chicago. I grew up on the South Side. My grandma, she
My
lived
dad's
on the
from the
North
South Side.
Side.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I,
from
I
Chicago.
I've been over East. I've been all around the city, bro. I've never been called the N word. I've been to Cubs games. I've been to Sox games. I've never been called the N word, bro.
So because that is your experience, is that supposed to dictate how
No,
the
I'm not
flow
an
of
exception to
social
the rule.
relations with non-black people to black people
No.
and participating in expressions of black culture and black expressions
Oh
of
my
those things?
goodness, bro. But listen though, see when you say black culture, here's what I have a problem with. Yes, you are right. No, I am not the exception to the rule because I'm one black man that hasn't been called the N-word in Chicago. Yes, you're right about that. But at the end of the day, dude, when you say black culture, what is black culture exactly? Is it black folks killing each other at a predominantly higher rate than white people? Is it black people being 3 times more likely to being attacked by other black people than white people and other groups and ethnicities? Is it black people being 50% of the violent crimes in America?
It's all proximity of groups
But these are numbers,
of
but no, but wait, we're
intergroup
talking about black
violence.
people here.
These Yes,
Logish,
and
I'll let you.
these are numbers provided by a society that don't mind seeing black people fucking homeless by the fucking hundreds of thousands out this motherfucker. This is a
Dude,
society that will. This is again. That's why I say the cultural dynamics of it. If you're 28, you kind of should know by now, dog. But I think it's a
I
generation.
do
Y'all
know.
generation
But that's the thing though. I do.
a lot more forgiving to slights that my generation would not. And this is why they are out of pocket now. This is why the talks where hip hop is going, but where they are now, or black culture. When I say black culture, I'm saying that which is perceived as black culture by outsiders. So when it comes to the N word and
you're
granting
missing the
access to
point.
the N word,
That you're missing the point
I'm
that
not
I. You're
missing the
missing the
point.
point that I just
Have
said.
you ever been inquired have you ever been inquired if a person could ask the N word of a non-black person? Have you ever been inquired of that?
No.
And at what young of an age were you inquired of that?
Listen. Are you referring to like what somebody needing permission to say the N word for me or something? Like, what do you mean by that?
No. Just say that you're kicking it with non-black associates or whatever,
Uh huh.
and they try you. You know what I'm saying? And they hey, can I say it? How young were you? And you know what I'm saying? Have you and how young were you?
I mean, I've never see. Look, I've had white friends when I was playing rugby, but the thing is, they've never came to me and say, "Dude, is it okay if I say the N word?" I mean, look, we understand that the term is used for bigotry, like majority of the time, dude. Like, I get what you're saying when you say that, but you got to understand here that you cannot stop these people from saying the N-word. Now, granted, you can try to
No, you
fight it
can't.
off as much as you want, but ultimately these people are going to say what they want to say, man. But last thoughts,
Well, no,
bro, because you
you can't stop them. What you're doing is making a stance on it not being so freely accessed to them again because of what it unfortunately still means in the unfinished historical business of my culture, right? So as far as I'm concerned, and I leave off on this, when we got reparation, when we get reparation $1, then we can open up those talks.
Who's gonna pay those reparations? Hold on. Who's gonna pay those reparations?
When we were
Who's
children.
gonna pay those reparations? Who's gonna pay those reparations?
Those boundaries in the 80s. What you mean? This nation.
What you mean this nation? You mean taxpayer dollars? Hold on, whoa. Slow down. When you say this nation, do you mean taxpayer dollars? Do you mean taxpayer dollars? When you say reparations?
The country.
So you mean taxpayer money. So you mean taxpayer dollars.
It's not just taxpayers here. You also got non-taxpayers in the form of all these billionaire corporations.
So why would a billionaire just give black people free money?
Nobody said billion. No, corporations. We're talking these corporations.
What corporations are we talking about? Give me an example. Are we talking McDonald's? What? Apple?
You sound like you're here to protect people. You sound like a little bit of an apologist, man, for real.
No, dude. I'm a capitalist. That's what I am. I believe everybody should work for their dollar. Everybody had a form of slavery. Hold on, let me just leave off on this. You first of all, you were great.
That dollar is blood
Logish.
with the blood of niggas. Huh?
Logish. You were a great caller. Look, the ad hominem attacks don't work on me, bro. But granted, you work.
That's a question. You don't believe that dollar is blood soaked with the blood of niggas, do you?
Bro, listen, we weren't the only slaves in history, my guy.
Nobody talking slaves, cuz. I'm not talking slaves.
So what you want reparations for then? What you want reparations for? Now I'm confused.
I'm from North Tulsa, cuz. That's what I want that's what I want reparations for. I want reparations for these motherfuckers putting crack in my motherfucking neighborhood and destroying some shit that they even fucking shouldn't have, cuz. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I say fuck America, it's mama and it's deity, nigga. Ain't nobody talking about slavery.
So wait, you want reparations because your neighborhood was what?
You know about the war on drugs, right? You do know about the war on drugs, right?
Hold on. You kind of can you repeat that? My bad. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I said, you know about the war on drugs, right? When it was established, why it was established, the whole history behind that?
No, but I don't really think that justifies reparations, though.
Well, that's the sad part, because you wasn't there to see neighborhoods get turned into motherfucking Raccoon City. You wasn't there to see your people turn into motherfucking zombies like that.
But who's turning the neighborhoods into Raccoon City now, though? You're really. So wait a minute. You're really.
Devils provide, and you got hope in that,
dude. You're really blaming. You're really. So wait a minute. You don't blame the violence that's going on in the black communities, in the black neighborhoods now for your neighborhood being Raccoon City. You're blaming something that happened. What that was over 20, 30 years ago. What about now?
What you mean? What about now? You still got the.
Who's doing the crime now? Who's?
You still got this. You still got it. It's in the system. It's the way that the system operates. You're looking to preserve people. Or
we got a super chat.
Or protect the closeted inferiority, brittle fucking spirit of these white people, dog. I've been around your type before, homie, many times.
What is my type, Uncle Tom? What is my type?
No.
So what is my type exactly?
Your type is a minion. You're a minion. You're minioning right now. You're being a minion for these motherfuckers.
What does that mean? Can you elaborate on that? Can you elaborate?
Your type. Time and time again.
The chat is clowning you right now, by the way. And then I got a super chat from Sid. From a black man, by the way. This is a super chat. Hold on. This is a super chat. This is a super chat from Sid. Hold up. I think this is interesting. I think you should hear this. We got a super chat from Sid, who's a black man. You can look at the chat right now. Your caller is the problem. It is time for unity. What do you think about that?
They fuck for nothing, and black Republicans, they be used as fucking mascots.
Okay. So let me just leave off with this. So would you consider me an Uncle Tom? I'm gonna just leave off with this, caller. Would you consider me an Uncle Tom? Hello?
Yo, you muted. You muted, fam. We can't hear you.
Oh, am I muted here or can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I was saying,
I hear you now.
so do you know? So would you? We're just gonna leave off there. You've been a great, if believe it or not, bro. This has been a fantastic call, but would you consider me an Uncle Tom? Yes or no?
No, I won't consider Uncle Tom nor no coon. Nope. A minion, yes, but not
So what
Uncle
is a
Tom.
minion? I never heard that term before. What is that?
What you mean? You never heard of minion? You don't know what a minion is,
I
dog?
mean, I heard
I'm not
like
talking about
in
the
like
movie.
TV shows,
A
but
lot of people kept talking about the movie. So as far as doing anything, even if it's unbeknownst to you, you know what I'm saying? What not being in a you particularly not being and other black people who think like not being in a
I
full
love black people,
understanding
bro.
of the essential ramifications,
Bro,
right? That's
I
when
love black
you
people, bro.
have
That's the
to
thing.
make a
I
notation
know
of
it's the
as you're
music.
making an assessment of the overall
Listen,
situation.
listen. I
It's
love
not
black
just
people,
being
bro.
people.
That's the thing.
It's not just
That's
the
what people
fact that
fail to
yes, they the N
understand.
word based off of slavery. It's like, wait a minute, this is unfinished historical business for black people. The reason why black people say it is because of the trauma, not because we love it,
But the
not
thing
because we
is,
just love the N
but
word.
the thing is, dude, I love black people, bro. Like I see what's going on when it comes to the music. We promote killing each other, bro. I'm trying to. I love promoting all businesses, not just black businesses, flourish as a country and a society, bro. We can't just only black owned business, black, because bro, you're exiling people and you're pushing people out so they cannot contribute to your business. And you got to understand the black millionaires and the black billionaires here in America, they're the black millionaires, excuse me, and the black billionaires here in America, they are billionaires and millionaires because of white people, because white people invest in these people. You feel what I'm saying? So,
I understand that.
and
Yeah,
the
I
thing is this,
understand that.
like,
Yeah, okay.
we have to start calling this stuff out when it comes to the black community, bro. Because even when it comes to the black women, bro, the single mother rate when it comes to Jim Crow, because a lot of people think Jim Crow for black people so bad when it comes to family, but the family structure during Jim Crow was way better than what we
No,
have today.
it was the social terrorism from white people that
But the
instituted
you
Jim
but
Crow.
you but
That
that's
was
not
all
the
shit.
point though. See, look, I'm not talking about white people right now, bro. I'm talking about the black family right now. We were more united
Right.
during Jim Crow. And the thing is this, when it comes to nowadays, the single mother rate from Jim Crow to now has raised from 25% all the way to 75%. 75% of black women in America are single mothers, bro. This isn't good. And 4 out of 5 black women are clinically obese. This isn't good. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm not saying it's good, and it gets talked about, but it doesn't get talked about on the world stage, or where the world's going to be concerned with how black people are concerned about themselves. You already then had grassroots communities that was doing work and passing out the information. But this is what I found out. I found out that black people wanted to be more American than black, and the style American they wanted to be was that which white people said, hey, you can join in with everybody else and be this style of American. And that's what they did. This why feminism is the coldest form of pimping in the history of all existence, and it took hold of the black woman's mind at a moment towards where they would not hold more to their black ethos as opposed to their feminist ethos or what their perceived American one could be.
No, we can agree to that, right? Now we can just leave off with
Yeah.
agreeing with that. The black family has worsened throughout time. Can we agree on that? And we
Oh, we
have
can
to
definitely agree
and
on
we
that.
have to and we have to advocate for fathers being back in the home, not doing degeneracy and not being emotional, bro. Our black men nowadays are so emotional.
Humans are emotional. Humans are emotional, man. Humans are naturally emotional. You can't do away with emotion. That's what white people tell motherfuckers to do. Okay, stop that. That's what them soulless motherfuckers try to get people to do. Hey, don't focus on your emotions. No, I'm human. That's going to be there. You just
But
want them
men
to.
though,
You just want it to be.
men have to practice emotional intelligence more than women do, bro. I understand men cry. Listen,
Everyone got to practice
listen,
emotional
men,
intelligence.
real
That's
men
what I'm
cry,
talking
bro.
about.
You're not finna sit up here. Look, you're not finna sit up here and hear a like this ain't no damn Andrew Tate Sigma male shit over here, bro. Like I know and I understand real men cry, bro. But we have to do it alone in a room where can't nobody see us. You
Let
know
me
what I'm
hear you
saying?
again, cuz.
You know, oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was saying like you're not gonna get that, Sigma male shit from me, bro. Like I understand real men cry, bro. Like I'm from Chicago. I lost people, like I lost friends, I've lost family. I understand real men cry. So I'm not saying men can't be like don't have no emotions like a rock or something like that. But we do have to be the stability of our families, bro. You can't be just as emotional as the woman. You know what I'm saying? Now can we
Of
agree on
course
that?
not. Of course not.
Right.
Yes, of course we agree on that. But
Right.
but but that is. But we're not. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that that is the professional or potentially the more lion's share of the character state of black men that I identify.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do identify that, yes, but for that to be for that be the bulk of character that I view within black men, no, that's not. I don't view that, but I do view it.
Right. Hey, Logish,
Now,
man.
but
You
hey, thanks for the hospitality, man. I know you got to get back to your other callers, and you know what I'm saying.
No, bro, it's been perfect. I love debates. Like this is the best part of the show is the debates, man. So thank you so much.